You are tuned in to Street Widows podcast, where some of us heal in public so those healing in private can keep going. And we're going to start today off like every other day with an article. So today's article is Slavery and Funerals in the Americas. And I thought this was so cool because I didn't know that the first wealth attained by Black people was in the funeral industry.
I didn't know that either.
I learned something new. So I'm just gonna read like a little snippet, and then we can just talk about it. What I found most interesting is that during slavery in the Americas, it was against the law for slaves to give their loved ones a funeral, a proper burial. So in the early years, the slaves would actually revolt against the masters. When a family member would die, there would be a revolt. And because of those revolts, the masters said, okay, well, we can't keep having the slaves revolt. So let's let them do a little something, something, basically. So while they were denied the opportunity to bury their own dead, they were charged with the task of preparing the master and the master's family for their burial and their funeral services. And so that's where we learned as a people, of course I wasn't there in slavery, but we as a people learned that skill. And so the article goes on to say that when the slaves were freed, they ended up attaining wealth in that industry because it was one of few skills outside of being in the field that they had. So I just want to read something really quick, word for word. Even repast, before I start reading, repast is a master event, a master term. Like, Black people, we didn't invent a repast. That was their thing that we took on. So a lot of our traditions have come from being held captive in this country. So after the rebellions continued to happen and the whites realized that they had to do something different, slaves were allowed to meet for religious services and funerals. And whites were shocked at the behavior of slaves at funerals because they were happy, jubilant, and celebrated the homegoing of their loved ones. And I thought that was beautiful because it's such a solemn time for us, you know what I mean? And rightfully so. Like, there's so much emotion, there's so much going on. It's trauma, right? But our ancestors, we don't come from that. We come from being happy that you are no longer in the flesh and that you're in the spirit where we belong and where you can be your true and your highest form of self. So I wanted to start with that article today because funeral parlors were among the first businesses opened by Blacks after slavery was abolished. And undertaking was a promising profession for any aspiring Black entrepreneur. We're talking about entrepreneurs. Like, this is the start of Black entrepreneurship, is the funeral industry. Many African American funeral homes were among the first businesses to have telephones. The funeral director was a well-respected and well-dressed figure in the community, and the funeral home was a place of safety. And that's very different from today's times, right? Like, I mean, people we know are successful in that business, but
Still well dressed.
But I don't think we don't look at them to act for aspiration. You know what I mean? But that's how it started. And just the pride that I would assume came with being able to bury their dead and make money from it and be successful, when for years they were denied any type of acknowledgement of death, although they were seeing death all around them. And I think that just ties into where we are today with just grief, especially talking about street grief, and the fact that, like, it's a very difficult time to celebrate, but maybe being able to change our culture or just plant the seed that changes the culture surrounding death in the way that we handle it. Maybe we can do that today. So what do y'all think about the article?
I loved it. I mean, it definitely opened my eyes to history of the fact that we're even going through this. So it was very knowledgeable.
What you think, Nisha?
I love the article because it was very educational and informative. And in every aspect of knowing things. Because a lot of stuff you could see things and not believe it, or something could be on your mental and you not know if it's facts or not. But that was great.
It was straight facts.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah, straight facts. And just like thinking about Black entrepreneurship, which we talked about on the previous episode. You know what I mean? Like Black entrepreneurship and knowing that our people took something that was meant to destroy them and it made them successful. And I think that's just like what we're all doing in
Turn
this
pain into power.
Yes.
Pain into power.
Showing our capability.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. I want to, for one, say, what are y'all doing? Because y'all not touching y'all glasses. So what's up?
Actually, I was actually about to ask, can you top me?
Yes.
What's
We
this?
can get you topped off.
Who
So
made this again?
this is Elevated Goodies.
Okay.
Instagram, Trisha Smitty. Let me sit my notes down and showcase our good sister. So this is a Black-owned Louisville business. Elevated Goodies. She makes all type of stuff, y'all. When I mean, she started off as cupcakes and it just turned into all type of other stuff. You know, just Rice Krispie treats and all type of good stuff. She's like, when I went to pick up our wine this morning, because we are drinking Elevated Goodies infused wine. We are in the state of Kentucky, and I already disclosed that, so I'm not going to say what it's infused with, but it is infused. And it's good, y'all. It's real good. So y'all check her out. But when I went to pick it up this morning, she's like, girl, I just love getting people high. I like getting high, and I love getting people high, and that's how I started my business.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you gonna hit her up?
I'm about to hit her up, and I
Okay.
definitely am getting a couple bottles for my family. I don't know if I think I'm gonna tell them.
Surprise.
Don't tell them. Surprise.
Don't tell them.
See how, low it is for real?
No, but it's good. It's smooth. Like,
It'll be good. Let me go and stop.
yeah.
It's very smooth. Okay, she's talking. What's that?
Be careful because it'll come out of the.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
Yep, I know I'm not gonna spill
Now,
anything.
girl, I'm clumsy now.
Get it out the notes. Get it out the notes.
I need a have y'all ever watched Kevin Hart's podcast?
I have.
Girl, he got I think it's called a song. And I don't know how you spell it, but it's a wine connoisseur, and he comes and tells them all about the wine before he pours it, and he pours it out proper. I need a song, okay?
Okay.
Try to get to Kevin Hart status.
Okay.
So now that we all topped off, Misha, you've been here before, so you know how this goes. As our Street Widow alumni, do you want to pull our first card?
I
for Widow
sure
Talk?
do.
Okay, this is Widow Talk, y'all. Let's see. It says, hold on, I didn't pour it too by accident. Put this back over. What examples of grief did you have growing up, and what did they look like? Examples of grief has strictly been death for me most of the time. With so many people dying, and then especially women and children, that's traumatizing to me. So that's probably been my grief. It's death.
Did you see somebody, like, did you see your mother or auntie or somebody who you looked up to have to handle grief? And if
Yes.
so, how? Like, how did, in your opinion, you, right?
I
Because
feel like family turned to alcohol and drugs.
Mm.
I feel like that was my biggest thing, was people didn't know how to cope. It was weird to go to therapy. It was weird to tell somebody your business. You know, everything happening in this house, like however somebody's feeling, you keep that in the house. You don't tell nobody. So we weren't able to communicate and then seek counseling as well. So I think that was the thing for us.
And just to top off what she was saying about counseling, I think that was the biggest thing to me. I guess not knowing, or people that surrounded me when I was younger didn't know that therapy is not a bad thing. So death as well. Just seeing people just turn into another person and not have the proper steps to know what to do after dealing with grief. I just felt like that was the biggest thing. It's just not being knowledgeable or
Exactly.
accepting that we do need therapy. It is okay
Or
to talk
just
to
not having the
professional
resources.
people. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah, because
So,
you don't know what you don't
You just
know.
really just doing what you got to do to get to the next day. So.
Or what you was taught, what you
Right.
seen.
So then I look back on it and I be like, dang, I guess I shouldn't act like that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I say take it, take it lightly on people.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, my stepdad was killed when I was 8 or 9. I was in 3rd grade, so like 8 or 9, right?
And her out.
Here. Yep, in Louisville. Derby on Derby Day. Yeah. And so seeing that was my first personal experience with grief. And I remember them telling me, he's not coming home, was the way they told me. And I went to sleep that night and he came to me. And I will never forget it, like it was the craziest experience. But seeing my mama go through that,
Right.
she was hysterical. I mean, and then we went with my godmother and I didn't see my mama. To me as a kid, it feels like it was probably like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know if that's how
So
long
it's
it actually was.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, just and I would imagine now that I've been through it, she needed that. You know what I mean? Like, how do you cope? And she's seen it.
I'm glad she had a friend that was gonna come through
Right.
because you said it was your godparent. So
Yeah.
obviously it was like her best friend.
Yeah,
to
it was
come
a
through for
teacher
you, 'cause-
from my school. You know how people love your kids and you
Right.
build relationships with them. And she had babysat us for a long time. But I mean, I thank God that she had that too, because hell, I didn't have that, and I
Right.
needed it. I needed. My kids probably they didn't need to be with me
Right.
in those first moments. You know what I mean? I was delusional,
Yes.
to say the least.
That's something that I did read in your widow book. Make sure y'all get y'all copy. But I did read
Shout
a
out
lot
for the
of
plug.
that.
I like the plug. Yes.
But I did read about that, and that really touched home about just people allowing you that time when something traumatic like that happened and you dealing with kids, and of course you're not mentally stable to deal with your kids at that point. And that was the real thing.
Yeah.
You need your time.
It was times I would forget to feed my kids, and my son was 3, but he was autistic, so he wasn't as verbal.
Right.
And he was like, "Mommy, my belly hurt." Oh shit! I'm not
Yeah.
eating, so I ain't thinking about feeding the kids that
Right.
type of stuff. So yeah, that support is definitely needed in those times. But I think that was really the only. My mother is the only person I've seen up close to grieve someone. I don't think it had an impact on my own grieving process. I don't think I was even mentally aware enough to be like, well, how did my mama handle this? I was just, trying to wake up and keep going every day. But do you all think that the people who you seen grieve before you had your own grieving process, do you think the way that they handled it impacted you? Or did you think back to that? Or what was that experience like for y'all?
Well, for me, my mom losing my brother, but I was at a later age as a teenager. But my mom, she really handled grief bad, really, really bad. And she, I feel like it impacted me, and now I'm going through my personal grief. I'm able to be like, Dad, I really forgive her, and because it was something that was holding on me, because she needed the time to be away and really not focused on what I was going through. Because when you 17 and I'm pregnant, I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life? And so she was just out having fun, and I didn't understand that, so I became angry and upset with her. And now I'm like, Dad, I wish I would have gave her that grace, because I understand.
I think for me, girl, your lashes look good.
That really is.
I couldn't even focus. Oh, you laughing? Laughing,
Yes, of course. One of the Lavish babies did it. Her name is Nadia. Make sure you visit us. We're Lavish Beauty Bar, and we are located in Louisville, Kentucky.
She did a good job. I'm like, what are you talking about? What the heck over here? But no, I think watching someone else grieve growing up, I'm actually going to switch it around. Because, watching someone else grieve growing up, it did hinder the way that I looked at it and seen it. But I think that even with me grieving the way I am, it's hindering how my kids will being grieved, because they don't see me break down and cry. They don't see me in my therapy sessions that I were once taking. They didn't get to see, the times when I said, I don't care about nothing. I'm about to go get so drunk and hope I go be with this person. They didn't see me in those stages because I I didn't show that. I hid it from them. So I think it would hinder the way, you know, and change how they feel about people dying and things like that. It's hard for you to, I know for kids anyway, it's hard for you to see your mama never cry, and then I see it in my oldest daughter now. She won't cry. She'll just sit there and look like, okay, she's following and just mimicking everything that I already did. So I'm trying to change that up. I just told my cousin last night, I'm gonna start just letting it out in front of them so they can see it up close and in person. I ain't just gonna tell them just about people getting killed. I'm gonna tell them it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad for a day. It's okay to say, Mama, today's school just ain't gonna get it for me.
Right.
I'm not having a good day. Before you go out here in the world and put that into the universe. So,
it is a real thing, for real.
it is.
Go and make an emotional decision that impacts the rest of your life.
And then it makes you wonder, like, and of course therapy will help with that. Just how you are not so easy with just allowing your emotions to be what it is. We're not thinking you have to be so strong.
Exactly.
So,
because strong, and also add on to what you're saying, strong could look so many different ways. It can come in so many different forms and come from people who you would least expect it. I think that because a lot of people be like, oh, well, I thought she was strong. What's she doing crying? I thought she was strong. Or what's she doing this? Or how's she on drugs? Or whatever the case is, or whatever people may turn to. You got people that's judging and critiquing everything you do.
exactly.
And then they don't know. I'm still strong, but this is where I turn to for the moment. But I can still be strong.
Yeah. No, okay.
And I feel like I did that a lot, especially when it first happened, or even going into places that I would never even go of. And it wasn't because I learned that I like to have fun. It's just me. Like, I hate that I have to feel like I have to put on a persona or be a certain type of way when really I just want to enjoy life. Like, don't think that I'm not supposed to be here. I don't like it. I'm a regular person. You know, and I hate that. Yeah, and I feel like that I did make some decisions that, I would have done if I wasn't going through what I was going through, as far as just getting so intoxicated where I'm like, I'm here, but I'm not here. So,
But I mean, that's a hell of a pain to have to feel. You know what I mean? Girl, listen, I
was at the
weed,
bar
I smoke
every
weed, I
week.
smoke weed because I didn't start smoking until I was 21, and now I'll be like, I don't know how I went that long without smoking because, like, and I guess it's not the best coping mechanism, but like.
But
at the end of the day,
what is the best and what isn't.
Right.
I mean, and
what does that look
different.
like?
Yeah.
And when people would tell me, like, it's time for you to deal with it, what does that look like? Like, I want you to tell me the proper steps or what I should do when you feel like that your life been taken away from you. Like, you're forced to live a whole new journey.
Yeah.
So,
And figure it out on your own.
yeah.
Because nobody can tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And they can't do it with you.
Trisha, girl.
For real.
Okay. I just get low.
Hey, I'm like, hey. I'm like,
Okay,
I
I'm
know
like,
I told you don't be sitting with
Hey, Trisha.
Hold up.
I have to get this for this Saturday.
Y'all know
the
the holidays is coming up. And so these, not a plug for real, but kind of like a little plug for the real, yeah. Look, the real and rare conversation card deck.
I would go ahead and pull because you're about to say something about the holidays, and I was kind of sneak the people.
I was like, you cheated, is what I heard you say. Hold on, let me flip this one. We just said something like to this effect.
That's what she said.
Was the first holiday season without your loved one the hardest, or have there been worse? I think the first one was the hardest for me. The hell, Misha, you just gave me a whole new perspective.
That's what I'm like. I'm thinking it's gonna get a little greater, and I'm like, look what you said.
No,
When you
I'm
said that,
being
my heart
real.
went there like.
Yeah, the first so far. So this will be my third holiday season. The first one was definitely the hardest because all I had to look back on was memories with him. Now I feel like because I've started these new traditions, when I look and I be like, dang, last year me and my kids was in Florida. It's not last year we was at home and he was here, and you know, like it just you spiral. So I think for me, creating new memories makes the years easier versus being harder. But hell, Misha just threw it out the window. So I don't know. What you think, Lisa?
I'm feeling how you feeling because I was thinking in my head because it seems like that as time is passing, it's getting easier to deal with. But I'm not sure if have dealt with that. So, Misha, you gave me a real aspect on what to look forward to. So, I can say the first holiday was the hardest, and it's only been 2 years. So
that's why it was the hardest, because you haven't really got into that second and third and fourth and fifth.
Exactly. So it's kind of good to hear from both aspects, like with you a year ahead of me, and just saying, you know, of course, like you said, the memories when the first one, because it's like you're used to this whole setup, you used to showing up with this person. But
Traditions, the traditions.
yes, and it's like last year, I think I kind of, because I got a therapist, and that's why I recommend it so much, but it was my first tradition of holding my own Thanksgiving. So usually I'll go with my family and we, you know, I don't never be cooking, and I had some friends come over, everybody brought something and we made it do what it do.
Yeah.
And I guess because I was surrounded by so many people that I love and I could kind of get a little loose, and I think we kind of made our own tradition now. So far it's been so good, and I'm looking forward to the holidays. The first one, I guess because it was like 2 months after everything happened, I was like, I'm not ready for this. I didn't want to be around, and it was COVID, so it kind of shifted a lot of stuff. So y'all know grannies wouldn't let us come over if you didn't have your COVID shot. Everybody was at home, so
let me
it was
ask,
really
this is
hard.
kind of
It was like lonely.
Let me ask you something. Did you have a COVID funeral?
Yes, we did.
What was that?
Only like 25 people could actually stay. And you could literally, you couldn't sit down. It was only like 5 of us that could sit down. Yeah, the whole time during the wake process. So it was like, so it was like everybody had to wear masks, and then you had to look and keep it going outside. And then
so you really
was
didn't even have time. I mean, like people who loved him and cared
Yeah,
about him
you
didn't have time to process.
No,
Or
and
to
it's
stay
like
with
nobody
him.
really, like my family, I know of course, because elder people, you know, they was kind of scared, and then his mom was so older, it was really, and she ended up getting COVID right after, because she had so many family coming from out of town, you know, just everybody, you know how we do, when somebody died, everybody meets at that one location, and it kind of separated us anyway, because I was at my family's house just because it was other stuff going on, and so my family was helping me as much as they could, but of course, if I was over with his family, because it's all they doing, it's all they surrounded by, so I kind of had to deal with it, kind of like I guess I was hiding the way I really felt.
Yeah, you had to stay strong.
Yeah, because I'm like, every time I cry, everybody's trying to run to me like, stop crying.
And
I'm
you
like,
didn't
no,
want
I need to
that.
cry. Like, and leave me alone.
And you can't stop it.
Yeah.
You can't stop
They're
it.
like, stop. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be crying. Like, make me feel okay to cry. But I think it kind of deals with a lot of, you know, family history. You know, every woman in my family is so strong. And it's like, we can be weak.
The strong
Let's hug
brother.
on it. I needed a hug. I threw a fit, and that's all I needed was a hug.
I missed that COVID. I missed the COVID restrictions by like 2 weeks.
It was horrible.
And I was like, I couldn't only
Nobody could sit next to each other. It was horrible.
No, the one I went to, you couldn't even come inside the building. They pushed the casket up to the door, no lie. And it was just a drive.
You are lying.
Really?
It was.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'm literally like me and my kid.
Oh my God. That's crazy. So let's see.
When you pull a card, drink your wine.
Oh.
Cause I feel like we so elevated that we done stopped elevating. That we gotta keep elevating.
I think I need to stop elevating.
And she keeps pouring.
Wait, Lisa, I thought you just. Oh, I put the card. I did this last time too.
Okay, do you create traditions or do you hold on to them? And I kind of think it's what we just kind of discussed. Of course, you learn new process, and you know, of course, when you at home, it don't matter if it's 1,000 people around. When you get in bed, it's gonna bring you back to what it all started, like if he was here or whatever. So I can't say even with the second year around that I feel like I was in a better space where behind closed doors, I was still really hurt. But at the moment, I was okay. But then when everybody left, of course, you by yourself.
alone.
And I'm like, okay.
And it sits right
And it's just me and my kids, and I'm like, big, like, this is where it still felt good leaving your family's house and still be with your family. You know what I'm saying? Where y'all riding home. Y'all might even stop by to look at the Christmas lights or whatever. And I'm just like, oh. And I couldn't even go to a home. I was still stuck at my family's house.
So what I heard you say is this year you're gonna have your same Thanksgiving tradition that you created, but it's gonna be a sleepover.
Right.
But it's gonna be a sleepover. Y'all got to stay with me.
Come over. But it's so crazy because I'm actually excited to be with my family because everybody. I think this is our first year where everybody's coming. Because my granny is just not allowing us around because we don't got COVID shots. But it's another story. But we gotta actually venue, so I'm excited actually to be more, if anything, surrounded by my bigger family where we're planning, games, and it's not gonna be the normal things. So we actually got a theme going on. Everybody's kind of playing roles, and everybody my age is cooking. I don't know what we gonna do, but it's really funny. Yeah, we already in a group chat, like it's lit. So I've been having fun, even talking to them daily, because of course everybody's putting in, stuff that we didn't, have going on. Because I feel like COVID kind of separated everybody. So,
for sure.
How do you feel?
I've created my own traditions. Everybody come to my house now that my grandmother passed away, my great grandmother passed away. On both sides, well, not my great grandmother on my daddy's side, but everyone else then passed away. So
they usually take some
yeah,
shot.
but
Well, it's good that you
I
even stepped
like
up to
my.
be.
I'm the closest person that looks like my granny.
You got the crown.
So you cooked
Yes.
the whole meal?
Yeah, I cooked the whole meal.
Girl,
Every
I don't know
holiday.
how you do it, 'cause I was way
Thanksgiving,
out.
Christmas,
Yeah,
New Year's,
look,
Valentine's, St. Patrick. I mean, every Sunday.
St. Patrick.
No, I take on the tradition, so I've created my own because we add in, like you said, themes. We make sure we include games, dance contests or whatever, and rap battles and karaoke for the kids.
Girl, the video you posted the other day with your son talking about I had to school them, I had to teach you something. I got to put on the child's Yeah, put it. That's what you said.
I love how you still have fun with them.
I got to.
I love it.
Because we've grown up together. I had when I was a teenager.
Yeah. For real. So how do you
create
feel?
tradition? I've definitely created traditions.
Okay.
I think I'm getting for Thanksgiving, I don't really care to come home. Christmas, I would rather be around people. But my first year, I did Thanksgiving and Christmas in Atlanta by myself. And I think that just kind of taught me something different, you know what I mean? And so my second year, I took my kids to Disney, and I'm like, you know what? I got a timeshare. We're gonna stay the whole week, and we just gonna ball, me and my kids, and that's gonna be our tradition. Because my son's birthday is a week after Thanksgiving anyway, so it's like, put it all together. This year, the Fed raised interest rates, and so I haven't been selling as many houses, so we're gonna sit still. Ups and downs, it happened to everybody. I seen the status, it's like everybody on social media I forgot everybody rich and everybody, doing well. So let me tell y'all, listen, real estate has been tough these past few months.
I can't wait till we talk about that.
Girl, it's, business is not always up. Sometimes it's down. So I would love to take my kids out of town this year, but we gonna sit still and mommy's gonna run the bag up.
That's right.
So I think I don't know what I'm gonna do this year, but I don't think I'm gonna come home because I kind of I come home and I still feel alone. Kind of like what you saying, you be around your family, but then you lay in that bed and you by yourself. And so I find myself being angry, dang, I spent all this money, I did all this to come home, and I still feel alone.
People say that you don't deal with it, because I feel like you have no choice.
Yeah, you ain't got no choice. Unless you literally escape it 24/7. But I mean,
but when
you look at your kids,
you look
at your kids, and you got to deal with it.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's dealing with it when you look at them kids.
Because every little thing,
oh my goodness, my son.
Oh
yeah, everything.
Really,
the curl pattern and everything. And I'm like, the curl pattern's ugly. He's like, oh, I got good hair. But the walk, the talk, the mindset, the respectfulness, the meanness, Everything.
And you
about him.
remember in the first time when me, you and Cheryl first sat down, and I said, it's crazy how you don't have to be around your parent to get it honest.
No, you don't.
You ain't gotta have never
People
met
be thinking
your
I be
parents.
just saying it, you know.
No,
It's not
it's
that. I'm
really
like,
real.
DNA is real.
do you see
Yes.
this? He's
Because
nothing
even
like me.
my
She's nothing
yes,
like me.
my 3-year-old, which is his only son, I swear he acts just like his daddy. Like his daddy was so fun, and it's like I'm shy, so his daddy he's likes the attention, and everywhere we go, he's gonna make sure that you know it's him. Like he's not gonna be the one of the people that just. Just be in the middle of the crowd. He's gonna make sure that he is the crowd. Like, and I'm like, he forces me to even talk to people because we be in the store. He's, hi, how you doing? You having a good day? And I'm like, what's happening?
You know everybody.
And then like, oh, and then I gotta talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Even through the airport, it's just so funny. He really is like Mr. Rogers, and I feel like he said he was the same way. Like, didn't meet a stranger, and it's just so. I'm grateful. So.
Yeah, I think, creating new traditions and maybe holding on to a little bit of the old. You know what I mean? Because, like, I know for my kids, it's hard. Like, they be wanting to see their grannies and their brothers and sisters. So, like, this, actually, I misspoke because I said I didn't know what I was doing for Thanksgiving. I do know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. My mother-in-law and my stepson, my stepdaughter are coming to Atlanta.
I thought
So let
that
me
you said
correct
that was
myself. It's the Listen, let me just go on and do a commercial at this point. What? No, yeah, it's the elevated goodies. I told
She
you
just told us that they was coming.
Yeah.
They should be here later. So I'm like,
Yeah,
did she think she got company?
They are coming to Atlanta this year, which I'm super excited about. So it'll be fun. My stepson keeps saying, I just want to go to Great Wolf Lodge. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And it'll be like a vacation without taking a vacation. You know what I mean? So Misha, you know I done forgot whose turn is it?
It's fine.
See, I could have just left the import off and been right on cue. Okay, Misha.
I need to get the guard, okay? We doing it up.
It's the elevated goodies.
Who are you most thankful for along your journey, your grief journey, and why? So, who are you most thankful for along your grief journey, and why? Me personally, I want to say my oldest daughter, but then I can't say all 3 kids combined. They make life so much easier for me. They don't badger me. They don't disrespect me. They don't get on my nerves. They don't make one day bad enough to not want to be their mother every day. Like, they literally are my best friends. They tell me, like, Mama, it don't look right. Mama, that ain't what you said last time. Let me remind you. So stick to your words. That's all you got.
Right.
I'm so grateful for all 3 of them in every aspect. Making good grades, being in sports, not wanting to. None of my kids want to be the gangster type, or even with them knowing the things that their father had did or went through or whatever the case was and how he came up. They mimic some of the things he do, but in the mindset, in the heart, it's me. It's their mom. So grateful for them. So grateful.
Yeah, I made a social media post and I was like, I wonder, because I never know because I got kids, right? But I wonder if not having kids makes it harder or makes it easier.
Yes.
And I mean, we will never know, none of us. But
right.
I'm going to have to bring somebody onto the pod and talk about it one day because I just wonder, like, does that make it harder or does it make it easier because you don't have that everyday reminder? But I'll be sure that's beautiful.
It is. And I think in more of our aspect because they're so young, so I guess it's kind of hard to in the beginning even accepting the fact that you're a single parent.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially if you had a hands-on person, our father that is literally there every step of the way. And baby, when I tell you I had that baby for him, it was the most hardest thing, and I'm being completely honest, of being a full-time parent. Because I was just so used to being the business owner and staying at the shop. I'm in the trap. Like, I'm in there till 2 a.m. We gonna get these lashes. And I would be there all day, and he used to sometimes be like, tell my clients, like, and they call on my phone, can I slide in? Nah, she's done for the night. Like, I can remember his birthday trip I planned for him. And I'm still trying to squeeze in 2 people the day of, and I know that we got to get out of this house and get there. And I'm still just so focused because he allowed me that. Even before we had our first son, before my oldest son, he was just that guy. So I'm kind of, I say that I'm grateful for him because I love my kids, but it just gets frustrating and hard because I'm forced to be, I guess I'm realizing I was spoiled.
Right.
For real.
No, and girl, when
That's
I
a real
tell you,
thing.
I'm sitting in that space with you, okay? I mean, like, I went to work, I show houses all weekend long, you know what I'm saying? Like, pick up my little side money, and baths was done, kids was dropped off all the time. If the school called, they didn't call me, they called him.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Johnson, I show you with PP, she needs some, oh, okay, here I come, like, all of that. And so I didn't even think I could take, like, 100% honest, I didn't know that I could take care of my kids by myself.
Me either.
Yeah.
I had never spent a whole day alone with my kids. Mm-hmm. He was always there, always helping, or you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm bathing the kids, he's cooking the dinner.
Yeah.
I never had to cook. I never had to cook.
This is the most I cook in life. I swear.
Yes, like, bitch, you have to give us some skills.
Yeah, I'm learning for both y'all as well, because I'm like, I got to cook.
For real?
Yeah, I didn't know how, I knew how to cook pork chops and breakfast when I met my husband, okay? So when we talk about Thanksgiving dinner,
okay, I'll be proud
I'm gonna try this year, but it's gonna be a hit.
I just said, listen, I'm gonna be with my family most of the day, so I ain't gonna try to do it no more. Cause I was so overwhelmed, y'all, because I've never been a cooker. Even when my mama was a cooker, and I can remember my brothers in the kitchen, and I would be like, my mama said when I was like 7, I'm gonna have a rich man, and I ain't gonna have to cook. And it's so crazy because I kind of feel like that. I kind of really went for that, like. Try to live this,
yeah.
Like, and I don't know if it was a good thing or bad thing, because then I'm having to live. I feel like this is the first time I'm having to face me. Like, this is without help. Like,
how old was you when you met?
It's so crazy. So we met. We lived on the same street growing up, and he was older than me. He was 5 years older than me. So I can remember me getting off the bus in high school. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna be at this house, and he's gonna be trying to walk me down the street. And I used to be. No, like, I always wanted something I can handle. Like, I know you was ahead, and I wasn't trying to keep up. Like, I'm good. So, he always flirted with me and stuff, and I just felt like we bumped into each other after I left my first child's father, and it was the perfect time. He really came in and really loved me, and I feel like it was the first time I was ever really loved unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? So, it was really like, he was really a good person. So...
That's powerful too. That unconditional love is powerful, and just somebody who even love you enough to teach you.
Yes,
not to be like
so much.
I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't fucking with this bitch no bullshit. Right? Just but to teach you and to school you and to give you the game and be like, nah, like I know you don't mean it like this, but when you do this, this is what people are gonna think. So you need to switch the way, like just the
or
game.
really just come in your life just wanting to help you with no motive. You know what I'm saying? And really show you what genuine love feel like. So I was grateful for even meeting a person like that. So
no facts.
For real.
Who? Yeah. I have.
Come on, Latrice.
Come on.
Trish Jr.
I live up to the title though. I am most thankful for. Y'all got me wanting to say my kids, but
remember I was 50-50.
Yeah, I think I have to say my friends. Like, my mother has been there for me tremendously, my mother-in-law, but like my friends will sit on the phone with me all day because they know I feel like I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friends remember dates. My friends just call and check in on me, and you know what I'm saying, are just so supportive, and we all across the country from each other. But when I tell you, it feels like they, you know what I'm saying, as much as it can, right? It feels like they are right next to me. Like, they never miss a beat, and I'm so appreciative for them. Like, my best friend lives in London. My other one is in Kansas. You know what I'm saying? My sorority sisters are all... One is in fucking Alaska. She's in Alaska, but when I tell you she will Amazon my daughter a kitchen, because I done posted the kitchen set on Facebook talking about, am I wrong to buy the cheap one? But she, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, she was like, girl, I'm about to buy that one that you was trying to decide between. So that type of stuff, you know, and just like people who understand it never stops.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like last year I might have been good, but this year I might not be. And being intentional and knowing and like, let me just ask, let me just hold space. My girlfriend told me the other day, she was like, sis, just talk. I'm sharing space with you. I'm just here to hold that space for you, you know, to say whatever it is that you need to say. And I feel like that is so essential, but we are like kind of groomed. And I will say, I feel like, I don't know about everywhere else, but especially coming out of Louisville, my mama always told me, like, you be careful about women. You cannot always trust women. I think, like, we have had to be so defensive. Our generation, for generations, I mean, going back to the article, we as slaves were pit against each other, our own. So these are not traits that were instilled in us already. These are things that we were, these are taught behaviors in 400 years of conditioning. But I think sisterhood and like sharing space with other women, which is what we're doing right now, that's the key to it, because we all need, what you tell me, Misha, we all need somebody.
For real.
And it don't gotta be a man. Like we all need somebody.
Whether it's a friend, a sister, a mom, a dad, somebody that can hold space for us.
Yes.
And I mean safe space.
Yes.
Safe space.
But you know what? Instead of, I've always been a giver, so I'm always thinking, even when somebody's trying to do something for me, well, what can I do for them? So even with me accepting people doing stuff for me, I feel like I still owe them something.
Yes, I'm kind of.
And I don't know if it's a pride thing or because I don't want nobody to be like, I did this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
So-
that, you just gotta deconstruct. Again, this is all conditioning. So I thank y'all for coming on to the podcast today. It's always a vibe for us to get together. Y'all know we always got the elevated goodies when it's going down to talk about these traumatic experiences that we are turning into power. So I just thank y'all so much. This was good conversation. I can't wait till the next time we meet again.